Jackie. Didn't expect to see you here. What's up, friend?
てめえのつけば金では払えねえぜ。 スケの領収書だぜ。
13 Reasons Why! My first impression of this show was, it seemed like one of those regular teen dramas. I'm not really into regular teen dramas. I like American Pie. I like Superbad. You know, those Seth Rogen kind of comedies. This was a complete departure. It seemed like Riverdale or Skins or something. They even got a guy from Riverdale. Anyway, I was introduced to this show a while back, and if you haven't watched it at all, I recommend this video right here. You can check it out. Yeah, it's pretty much what happens. The narrative of this show was kind of interesting because it's from a dead girl's POV. Oop, spoiler! So the dead girl is the narrator, and that kind of gives it this whole macabre feeling. Am I using that word right? Who knows? Anyway, she's dead. You already know the ending. And like Clone Wars, even though you already know how it ends, the journey there is kind of interesting. The framing is like every episode is just one person who fucked her over. And she reminds me so much of that Tupac song.
These kids keep fucking with me!
Every episode, somebody's just fucking with her. Yeah, it's horrible. It gets really serious at times. Like, they go places that even the show itself can't go anymore. They had to cut that shit out. That's a problem with online stuff, you know? Anytime they want, they can just cut stuff out. I love how the first season of this show played with color filters. I thought it was a very good way to tell what took place in the past and what took place in the present. It reminds me of how Heroes used to do it. Do y'all remember Heroes? It was the show on NBC about 2006-ish, and they always had different color filters to tell you where they are. I thought that was interesting. And then sometimes they do cool stuff, like the filter just changes before your eyes, and like, oh. Tyler is an annoying guy. I feel bad for him, especially what happens at the end of season 2, but yeah, he was kind of a fucking perv. And you really get the school shooter vibe from him, so it's no surprise what happens later. Tony was cool. I liked him. I didn't like that he uses cassette tapes because that was just like, that whole thing took me out of the show. I could not believe that a teenager in 2018 still uses cassette tapes. Like, that's just hipster beyond belief. Like, you can tell that these aren't kids. Like, the words that come out of their mouths do not reflect an accurate teenager. Or maybe they do, I don't know. It just seems like a 30-year-old is writing for these teenagers, which is kind of gross, if you ask me. We gotta talk about him being gay, but I like that he's not the stereotype. He's just the guy. The gay thing is just secondary. I think that's nice. When I first watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, I was thinking, how the fuck is this guy 17? He's so huge and Asian. And then at the same time, I was watching 13 Reasons Why, and then it's like, oh yeah, this guy exists. And he's really a cool guy. You know, he plays piano, he's smart, he's athletic. Oh, and he's really cool with Alex. He's really cool with everyone, really. I'm so glad that Hannah's first wasn't Bryce. The fact that Hannah and Zach were together means that her first time wasn't horrible. You know, at least in her short life, she was happy. You know, we're all looking for happiness, right? I was always surprised when he had this on and off thing with Jess. I just thought it looked weird, you know? And then one thing led to another. He shot himself in the head and boom, he's gay. Seriously, does anyone shoot themselves in the head and turn gay? Or was the whole like shooting himself in the head like a wake-up call? and he finally decided to come out. But I don't think that's how it works. But aside from the gay thing, he's just like a real drama queen. And he's got shit to deal with, we all do. Especially the kids on this show. They is fucked up. I did like that he tried to help sometimes. He ends up fucking up a lot more than he actually helps, but yeah, he tries. He's a good guy. I thought she was a really good actress. First of all, she's Australian. Yeah, but she has such a sad look in her eyes. So she really sells this idea of a girl who would eventually kill herself. Because for most of the show, when she was alive, she seemed happy, she seemed normal. But knowing that she killed herself before the show even started, that just adds another layer of awareness. Because, you know, the person you see, who seems to be okay, they might be hiding something really, really painful. I remember feeling really bad for her because I do have a little girl kitty cat. I love the shit out of her. Clay is the most frustrating protagonist I've ever seen on a TV show. He's so fucking annoying and so fucking stupid. I tell you what's white fucking privilege. If you see a crime scene and you see a lot of blood on the floor, instead of getting the fuck out of there as soon as possible, you roll around in the blood. You pick up the fucking murder weapon. You know, he's doing all this crazy shit when he could just walk away. Yeah, but you know what? Thinking about it now, I kind of understand why he does so many stupid things. Because Hannah told him not to fuck her, and he didn't. And then she included him in one of the 13 tapes, implying that his cowardice is one of the reasons she killed herself. So now I think he's just like freaking guilty, and he doesn't wanna be a pussy anymore. And that's what's causing him to do all this stupid shit. I didn't really care much about him. He seemed like the guy who had it all. But then slowly, you learn that his life is kind of fucked up too. I think his life was a lot more fucked up than Hannah's. What I really liked was his eventual dynamic with Clay. When I first saw him and Clay, I just thought of the fucking Chad and the Virgin meme. But they actually turned out to be really good characters together. They were brothers. And he kind of redeemed Clay in a way. Because I hated Clay so much through this show. But at the end, you see that, you know, despite all the stupid mistakes that Clay made, he actually gave Justin a chance at a normal life. It was really sad in his last moments. You know, I can laugh at people acting retarded, but in the show, he actually became retarded. Like, he was trying to say some shit, he was like, and that shit broke my heart. I was tearing up. I didn't even know STDs could do that to you. So, that's a good moral for you kids. Don't be silly, wrap your willy. Stay away from drugs. She sucks. Yeah, she wasn't a good person from the start. She made friends with Hannah. I thought that was cool, but then some misunderstanding and POW! It was totally uncalled for. She shouldn't have slapped Hannah. Yeah, but aside from that, she's really controlling with Justin. And, you know, sometimes he's not in the mood and she just goes for it. It's hot when a girl wants to rip your clothes off. Most times. Not all times. Not with all people. And Justin was one of these people. You know, he was saying oh, can we wait? And then she said, I've waited long enough. And then she's all talking about oh yeah, we girls should have a choice and all that. And then it's when she wants to make Justin jealous, she just goes out with the gay guy. And she didn't even ask him. She just said, oh, you're going with me. And the gay guy's like, I am? Okay. What? Then you got Muhammad Avdol trying to defend her honor when the guys are making fun of her. And she says, I don't need no man to stand up for me. You kind of did though. They were kind of not listening to you at all. Yeah? I'm glad she doesn't have AIDS, because I genuinely got worried for her as soon as Justin collapsed. This guy, his character is fucked up, obviously, but this guy must have had the most fun filming out of everyone in the cast. He gets to play a straight up villain, and then he gets to play a victim, and then he gets to play a cyborg space cowboy. That's amazing. Now about the character, he's a rapist, so he's fucked up, right? And he's the villain of season 1 and 2. So I thought it was really, really interesting how the show changed things for season 3. Now it definitely seems like they were running out of ideas, but they turned it on its head, and a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Obviously, I disavow what he did, but it's also good to take a look at what else was going on in his mind. And it's possible that you can do horrible things, but you can also feel remorse. And he got punishment enough. I think drowning is not a good way to die. Well, before he drowned, he got his ass handed to him. I think his death was an important lesson in never losing your cool, because he could have lived. Alex was trying to help him up, and he was angry, and he said some poor choice words. And that little moment of Alex going, you know what, fuck you, was enough to kill him. And it's not like Alex can swim, and I can't expect Jess to swim after him because that's the guy who raped her. It's like, nah, you know what, I'm just gonna sit this one out, buddy. I talk about Monty, but I didn't draw him, and he definitely had his own issues. He definitely shouldn't have raped Tyler, so I don't feel bad about him dying. Oh, that poor gay guy, dude. Ah, Jesus Christ, Monty, you're a fucking asshole. He was nice to you. Getting a blowjob is one of the best things that can happen to you, and you beat the shit out of him for it. Gay guy didn't deserve that. Not cool, man. Not cool at all. One thing that really pissed me off about this show is that I always had this question in my head, and that question is, don't these kids study? What are they doing in school? Don't you have, like, algebra or history? You know, when I was in school, the most stressful thing were exams. It's like, where do you have the time for all this drama? I'm watching this other show on Netflix called How to Sell Drugs Online Fast. When I watch that show, I'm really impressed because these kids actually know shit. You know, they're learning about the economy, they're learning about how to run a business. Even there's this character Lisa. She's like kind of hopeless at first glance, but after a while you know that, hey, she knows a bit of chemistry. Alright. These kids actually go to school and learn shit. So the concept of the show, while it's interesting, there's only so much story you can get out of it. Season 1 was tight. Season 2 is just weird. It seemed like they were just trying to milk it. When they brought Ghost Hannah into it, I just felt like, come on, you're not gonna do that, right? The ghost trope, really? Is this teen angel? Is this that episode of Scrubs? Third season, that's when you got my attention. Because it was more like a spin-off than a continuation. It was like the framing was weird. I didn't like that self-insert everybody likes her character. But what? I liked her mom. Her mom was always like, do not be involved with all these white people problem. She's just trying to live her life, trying to provide for her kid, and all these fucking American kids are screwing it up. Not learning shit in school. But I think plot-wise, what they did with Season 3 was really interesting. Like, in Breaking Bad, you see a victim become the villain. I guess in Dexter, too. But I can't think of anything where you see the villain actually get, like, empathy. And I think that made a lot of people uncomfortable. Because, you know, seeing it from Hannah's perspective and a general perspective, you think, like, this guy, there's no way there's any good in him. But at the end of Season 3, you see it, like, from his point of view. And you see how sorry he feels. And you see his mom, who sees, like, no matter how fucked up he is, his mom is gonna see him as a little baby. And she read it bedtime stories, and it's heartbreaking to see things from his mom's point of view. I was watching this super old TV show like Bones or CSI. They were trying to find this criminal or serial killer or something, and they brought the mom in for questioning. And the mom was like this sweet old lady. She's like, oh, my little boy would never hurt anyone. He couldn't hurt a fly. He's just a sweet little angel. And she tried her best to raise him well, but she just couldn't do it. He turned out to be a killer. That's what Season 3 felt like. Season 4 was just tying up loose ends. At a certain point, you gotta find it funny that every year at least one kid from the school dies. Because in Season 1 it was named Jeff and Hannah. You got 2 kids dying. And then in Season 3, you got BRYCE dying. And then you got Monty dying. Who else is gonna die here? If I was a parent at this school, yeah, of course I'm gonna spy on my kids. But this is like just one by one, they're getting killed off. It's like Final fucking Destination. What I liked about Season 4 was, despite everyone's flaws, all the characters I hate, all of them felt like they really cared about each other. At least the ones that still survived. You know, you would never guess that a guy like Clay would be friends with a guy like Tony. And you never guess like a guy like Tony would be friends with someone like Jess or Tyler. But they are. And that's nice. It's like a fucked up family. And despite how like haywire the show's direction went, like the space cowboy thing, Jess's like freaking out, the horror movie moments, they got like people banging on the door, Clay's fucking split personality, they managed to end it on a good bookend. Like it started with a smile and then ended with the guy who gave that smile dying, so everything's wrapped up nicely. So yeah, that was the show. Not the best show, not the worst show. I had a lot of fun watching it. I had a lot of fun drawing it. So what about you guys? Did you like this show? Let me know. Peace out.